Do you think famous athletes rake in millions and then live carefree lives until old age? Many are as good at sports as they are bad at managing finances. I'll tell you about real sports legends who ended up with nothing. How much money did they lose? Oh, you'll be very surprised. Let's start with a real boxing genius. At the peak of his fame, Mike Tyson could boast not only the title of undisputed world heavyweight champion from 1987 to 1990, but also astronomical earnings. According to Forbes, Mike earned $400 million in the ring, and endorsement deals brought him another $250 million. Can you imagine? But he didn't care about finances, spending money with ease and extravagance. Closing a Gucci boutique for himself, Mike could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on items that remained unworn. Expensive real estate, yachts, villas, 110 luxury cars, even Bengal tigers. All this was in his collection. So where did the troubles come from? An unhappy marriage with Robin Givens cost him $6.5 million in alimony. Prison time took away his earning ability. Moreover, legal battles with Don King, who managed his career after his release, only worsened the situation. Mike claimed that King embezzled more than $100 million. As a result, Tyson's debts grew to $23 million. By 2003, Mike officially declared bankruptcy. How did he manage to climb out of the financial pit? Smart monetization of his name. He wrote a book, became an actor, organized the tour show Undisputed Truth, and continued to receive invitations from wealthy individuals for whom he remained a legend. But judging by social media, Mike still hasn't learned to save. Now, let's talk about Tyson's friend. After defeating James Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield found himself at the top of the heavyweight division, but many doubted his success because he hadn't faced Tyson. The planned fight with Mike was canceled due to the latter's injury, and instead, Tyson went to prison. Holyfield continued his career, but not without difficulties. After a fight with Riddick Bowe, he faced a heart attack, but later it turned out the diagnosis was incorrect. Returning to the ring, he knocked out Tyson and finally cemented his legendary status. Evander Holyfield's financial situation is a classic example of how even huge earnings can disappear without proper management. At the peak of his career, Holyfield earned about $250 million, making him one of the richest boxers in the world. However, over time, his financial situation began to deteriorate. Firstly, enormous living expenses negatively affected his wallet. Holyfield bought a majestic mansion with 109 rooms, which eventually became a symbol of his financial trouble. Can you imagine the maintenance costs? 3 divorces and alimony obligations for 11 children from 6 different women further undermined his capital. At one point, the situation became so critical that Holyfield had to sell his mansion to cover debts. Even after selling the house, financial pressure didn't ease as expenses continued to exceed income. As a result, Evander now takes almost any contracts to stay afloat. But let's move on. Believe me, there are even bigger losses. Boris Becker, once a 6-time winner of major tournaments and one of the world's most famous tennis players, earned over $25 million in prize money by the end of his career, making him one of the top 10 richest tennis players. In 1999, his fortune was estimated at no less than $100 million, thanks to successful endorsement deals with giants like Coca-Cola, Philips, Deutsche Bank, and Puma. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. However, Becker decided that charisma and confidence were enough to conquer the business world. He started investing millions in various startups, from the organic food producer New Food AG to the reality show B Becker TV, from the online marketing resource Sportgate to Mercedes-Benz dealerships. Unfortunately, none of these projects became profitable. Partners just took the money, nodded, and then filed for bankruptcy. The situation worsened with an unsuccessful oil and gas project in Nigeria, where Becker lost at least $10 million. Plus, loans he couldn't repay on time, lawsuits from business partners for tens of millions, and tax evasion. Becker registered in Monaco for tax benefits but actually lived in Germany. Becker's personal life also impacted his finances. He paid his first wife, Barbara Feltus, $10 million and left her a $2 million house in Miami. Additionally, a spontaneous romance with Russian model Angela Ermakova resulted in a daughter and additional expenses. Becker bought an apartment in London and agreed to pay $25,000 monthly for the daughter's maintenance. Now at 51, Boris Becker has to take any job that allows him to earn money, from window advertisements to event hosting. Despite once being at the pinnacle of success, his financial situation is far from ideal. How quickly fate can change, can it? And how can we forget hockey players? By the age of 40, Sergei Fedorov, who won the Stanley Cup 3 times with the Detroit Red Wings in 1992, 1998, and 2002, had accumulated at least $43 million. Thinking about how to multiply his capital, he decided to invest in business. In 2008, Fedorov trusted the advice of an old friend with whom he had maintained a relationship for over 20 years and decided to invest all his money in one project. What could go wrong if you give an old friend a bunch of money? This step became a critical mistake in his financial career. He broke the cardinal rule of investing: don't put all your eggs in one basket. Fedorov's funds ended up in the hands of an entrepreneur named Joseph Zada, who, as it turned out, had been just siphoning money from his trusting client for 11 years. Attempts to resolve the issue peacefully led nowhere. Zada even promised to pay Fedorov $60 million, and the Detroit court ordered him to do so, but the money never reached the deceived hockey player's account. This experience left a deep mark on Sergei, and he decided never to get involved in business projects again. Fedorov's story became a vivid example of how a single bad investment can destroy financial stability and cause a loss of trust in entrepreneurial activity. No wonder all financiers say to keep your eggs in different baskets. But it's still surprising how often even experienced and successful athletes fall victim to financial schemes. And remember this footballer? A true legend of his time. After completing an impressive career, crowned with the Ballon d'Or in 2005, Ronaldinho decided to try his hand at various fields. He recorded rap music, appeared in a music video, launched his own cryptocurrency, Ronaldinho Soccer Coin, actively participated in Brazilian politics, and even got into fishing. However, the latter turned out to be particularly problematic for him. In 2015, Ronaldinho faced serious legal and financial problems due to his fishing hobby. He built a fishing platform and warehouse in an environmentally protected area in Porto Alegre, causing significant dissatisfaction among local authorities. For causing environmental damage, the former Barcelona player was fined $178,000. Authorities demanded the demolition of the structures, but Ronaldinho decided to contest this decision in court. The legal battle dragged on, and in 2 years, the fine amount increased to $2 million due to non-payment. When Ronaldinho's financial situation was checked, only €6 were found in his accounts, a shocking discovery considering his active Nike contract and former earnings. Thus, Ronaldinho, despite his previous successes and fame, faced a deep financial crisis caused by a series of poor decisions and conflict with authorities. Or perhaps it was just karma for yet another crypto project designed to siphon money from ordinary people who believed in the football star's advertisement. It's up to you to decide. Who's next after football, hockey, and boxing? Dennis Rodman, known for his vibrant and extravagant style both on and off the basketball court, reached incredible heights in the NBA, becoming a 5-time league champion. At the peak of his career, his earnings reached $26 million a year, and his total earnings throughout his professional career exceeded $550 million, including income from endorsement deals. However, after retiring at 45, Rodman struggled to find his place outside the basketball courts. Luxurious mansions, expensive cars, and other signs of wealth quickly lost their value to him. His life was marred by drug and alcohol addiction, leading to the termination of contracts with many of his sponsors. Rodman's personal life was also fraught with problems. After divorcing his third wife, Michelle Moyer, who bore him 2 children, he refused to pay her alimony, which amounted to $51,000 monthly. This led to a debt that had grown to over $1 million by 2017. The situation worsened when Moyer filed a police report accusing him of domestic violence, resulting in a 3-year probation and a restraining order preventing him from seeing his children. Ultimately, exhausted by financial troubles and personal crises, Rodman was forced to declare bankruptcy and admit to his drug addiction, marking a sad end to his career. Do you know how the great Diego Maradona ended his life? The 1986 World Cup champion passed away on November 25th at the age of 60 due to a heart attack. His death sparked a wave of grief worldwide. Leading newspapers published photos of the football legend on their front pages, and fans and colleagues remembered him both on and off the field. However, not everyone knows that he spent his last years in poverty. According to journalist Luis Ventura on the show Fantino alla Tarde, Maradona died, leaving behind almost empty bank accounts. All anyone had to do was ask Maradona for money, and he would give it, Ventura said, highlighting not only Maradona's boundless generosity, but also his vulnerability to those who sought to take advantage of his kindness. The website Clarin, citing data from Celebrity Net Worth, estimated Maradona's total earnings during his career at $500 million. In the 1980s, he was one of the highest-paid athletes in the world, working with brands like Hublot, Puma, and Coca-Cola. Nevertheless, about $75 to $100 million were invested by Maradona in real estate and cars in Buenos Aires. Lawyer Angelo Pisani, who handled Maradona's cases, including tax evasion in Italy, confirmed that the footballer had serious financial problems at the time of his death. According to Pisani, Maradona lived beyond his means and was very generous. Pisani also mentioned that Maradona's tax debt amounted to around $44 million, and in one case, Diego even handed over expensive earrings to settle a debt. In the last years of his life, Diego Maradona supported himself with his salary as a coach at the Gimnasia La Plata football club. The tragedy of his life and death reflects not only his football achievements, but also the deep personal and financial struggles he endured. And finally, let me tell you about another football star. Emmanuel Eboué, who Thierry Henry considered the most positive player at Arsenal, and according to Didier Drogba, the main energizer of the Ivory Coast national team, began his European football journey in Belgium at the Beveren club. This club was jokingly called Ivorian due to the large number of players from the Ivory Coast in its lineup. Here, Eboué met his future wife Aurelia, with whom he had 3 children. At the age of 22, Eboué moved to London to play for Arsenal, a move that happened at the personal invitation of Arsène Wenger. At Arsenal, Eboué spent 6 seasons reaching the Champions League final, after which he transferred to Galatasaray. In the Turkish club, he also achieved success, winning the national championship and cups. However, a conflict with the new coach led to the player being deeply benched. After his contract with Galatasaray ended, Eboué couldn't find a new club for almost a year. He signed a contract with Sunderland, but problems arose almost immediately. FIFA disqualified him over a debt to a former agent amounting to €1 million, and Sunderland terminated his contract. During this period, the deaths of his uncle and brother hit Eboué hard, causing him to fall into depression. Financial and personal problems worsened when his wife, who was his financial advisor, took all his savings and filed for divorce. Eboué was forced to hide to avoid handing over documents and keys to their London home. In desperation, he gave a candid interview, revealing his wife's betrayal and how his children stopped talking to him. In 2018, the club Turk Ocha from the unrecognized Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus invited him. But a medical examination revealed blood issues, and according to unconfirmed reports, Eboué was diagnosed with HIV. After this information leaked to the press, his former club Galatasaray offered him a coaching position in their academy, giving Eboué hope for a fresh start, as he had no money left at all. As you can see, you can earn hundreds of millions of dollars and still end up with nothing if you don't know how to manage your money. By the way, if you also want to make money, can write scripts, edit videos, or do voiceovers, contact us via our Telegram bot using the link in the description. We would be happy to collaborate. And thanks for watching.